We find our unexpected hero Montag resting on top of a pile of hay on the outskirts of Konami, his village which is located west of the Great Caves. Montag is around 20 years in age and has dark hair and green eyes. He lost his parents many years ago and lives with his uncle. A familiar girl approaches him, Montag's childhood friend Vestra. Vestra is an average-sized girl with shoulder-length dark hair and brown eyes. She is also around 20 years in age and has been Montag's friend since they were both 10. Vestra's pet Zealoth has run off again and needs Montag's help to get him back.
Montag, can you help me get Z? He ran into that abandoned quarry and I don't feel safe going there by myself. And if I remember correctly, you used to hang out down there.
And I'd rather not go back. Can't you find someone else to get your pet?
Montag, everyone knows you know those tunnels like the back of your hand, and plus, you know you love Z.
Fine, I'll go look for Z, but you owe me. Montag slides down the pile of hay he was resting on and walks with Vestra through the town to get to the quarry. Quincy appears from around the corner. Quincy was Montag's best friend until his mom married a rich noble and Quincy had to cut all ties to Montag in order to keep his noble status. Shortly after, however, events took a turn and forever lit a raging flame under Montag towards Quincy.
Hey Montage, you enjoying life in our little town?
Don't you mean my town? After all, you left it years ago.
Not by choice, if you recall. Besides, I still like to come back here time to time. I'm still hoping to find...
I don't care what you're hoping to find, Quincy. You have no right to ever return here. Montag goes to punch Quincy, but is stopped by Vestra.
Montag, what has gone into you? Sorry, Quincy, we'll be going now.
Whatever floats your boat, hun, but if I were you, I wouldn't want to be seen hanging around old Montage.
Quincy walks off in the direction Montag and Vestra just came from.
Montag, what happened to you back there? I've never seen you get so worked up.
It's Quincy. He doesn't have any right to be here. Anything he could ever want, I'm sure he could find at the palace grounds.
Maybe he's not looking for a material object. Maybe he's lost a part of himself.
Well, I'm sure his parents can find it for him. He doesn't need to be here.
All I'm saying is that his family has power, and I wouldn't want to mess with him. And why are you so hell-bent on not having Quincy here? I mean, you guys used to be great friends.
I know all about their power. I've had to live through it firsthand. And it doesn't matter now. Nothing can change what he or his family have done, and it doesn't matter what we used to be. In all the years of being friends with Vestra, Montag never told her the truth about what happened almost 12 years ago. He grew silent, and Vestra seemed concerned for him as they continued their way to the quarry in uninterrupted silence. And coming upon the vast quarry, Montag breaks the silence and asks where she thought Z went. So, where do you think your little Zealoth went?
I think he went right down there into that cave.
Montag descends down a series of ladders and reaches the bottom of the quarry. Vestra is not far behind. Montag looks into what lies ahead, and he says to himself, "What have I gotten myself into?" Vestra stays at the opening of the cave, insisting that if her Zealoth were to run out, she'd be there to catch him. Montag walks into the cave. He notices it's a lot more damp and dark than it was a few years ago, but continued to explore, going off instinct. He goes down a series of tunnels after hitting many dead ends, and after doing some backtracking, he finally hears the little Zealoth's whimpers echo throughout the cave. He follows the sound of the whimpers to a small room in the cave that was an old mining hub. Some light trickles in from small holes in the ceiling, and Montag finds the little Zealoth. His foot is stuck in a crevice that's in the cave floor. Montag gets on the ground and lets Z sniff his hand and gives him a pet. "Hey Z, remember me? Your buddy Montag. It's been a while since I've seen you." Z, remembering Montag, continues to let Montag pet him. Montag wiggles his fingers into the crack in the floor and begins to break small pieces of cave rock to give Z's leg a little more room, and Z quickly gets free. He nudges against Montag's leg in appreciation for freeing him. "You're welcome, bud. Now, do you remember your way out?" Z makes a motion that Montag takes as a yes. "Okay, good. Go get Vestra. She's waiting for you outside. I'll be there in a second." Z leaves Montag, and he notices his hand is stuck in the floor. He struggles to get out. After a few minutes of squirming and breaking more pieces of rock, he finally frees himself from the floor, but he loses his balance and falls against the back wall. The stone wall falls behind him. Jeez. It's a good thing this place was abandoned when it was. It's falling apart. A dark, shadowy fog emerges from the hole created by Montag and shoots through the cave system and into the open skies. Minutes later, Montag walks out of the cave entrance to a concerned-looking Vestra and Z.
What happened in that cave? Shortly after Z came out, a burst of some kind of dark smoke came out of the entrance, and the sky began to turn dark.
Montag notices the change of color and looks up in horror at the sky. We need to go now. No time to explain. Konami's in serious trouble if this is what I think it is. Montag runs over to the ladder and quickly begins to ascend, Vestra and Z not far behind. What could this new threat be? Will Montag and Vestra make it to town in time to help? Stay tuned to find out.